I honestly cannot believe that I am saying this. It is 30 days exactly that I have been stone sober off the THC. I'm out here in the park with my girlfriend. She's walking our dog back there somewhere. But yeah, just feeling good, feeling like I needed to jump on here and make a video. I don't know. It's not like I have too much else to say beyond the streams and the other videos and whatnot that I've dropped so far, but I'll go ahead and give ye old good, bad, and perhaps mediocre and perhaps extremely ugly as well. So let's see what's good. Well, let's just start with what's top of mind. Sorry, my fingers are covered in dirt. I was just outside gardening, been trying to soak up some rays and whatnot. The first thing that comes to mind is that the awesomeness, like the super phenomenal, transformative type energy that I was feeling really within, week 2, week 3 type thing, it's kind of subsided a lot. I've had a lot of conversations on the Discord in the last couple days with folks that are not feeling so hot. One dude in particular, shout out to you, I believe Kotek, was talking about like these physical symptoms of like sweats, insomnia, real difficulty sleeping. And it's like, man, I'm not feeling like real challenges like that. But what I am feeling is that super high energy, that sense of being really light, being really high energy, right? Feeling super positive and energized. Not so much anymore. And I am sort of kind of getting back into that place where it's like life is becoming somewhat average again. Now, I do have memory of folks kind of telling me that it's like 3 to 6 months is when you really start to feel these super transformative benefits. But I don't know if it's not that I'm not looking forward to those things. It's that I've realized, kind of fundamentally, this is a hella not so safe looking bridge that we're about to cross here. Hopefully we don't pass away on camera. But it's beautiful though. Check it out. For me, the thing that sticks out the most, that it's like I've already won. I've already kind of acknowledged that there's no way that I'm going back. Is the idea that when you're high all the time, and this, I mean, if you're high all the time, you can probably resonate with what I'm talking about here, is that you genuinely feel like, I genuinely feel like when I am high all the time, I quite literally feel like I am in hell, right? It's like I feel weighed down. I was trying to explain this feeling the other day to somebody where it's like I feel like I'm in a box. Like I feel like the world is kind of enclosed around me a little bit. And that feeling is I don't know how else to put it. I mean, it's hellish. It feels awful. It feels like I am existing in a snow globe where my mind is sort of encased around itself, and I can't really escape that enclosure, right? And that feeling is garbage. And one of the things that I've been realizing is that, and I felt this super palpably, super viscerally the other day, where it was like, I noticed that when I'm high all the time, even if I haven't smoked in the last 12 hours or whatever, I feel heavy. Like I feel like my body is being pulled into the ground by gravity, right? I feel like my spinal cord is tense and it's pulling my head down. And it's like there's this entire pressure all around me that is physically pulling me into the ground. I don't feel that at all anymore, right? I talked about this on stream, I think, or was it in a video? I can't remember. But I was talking about how I was walking around the house the other day and I just noticed that, wow, that feeling is gone. I don't feel that at all. And that alone is so worthwhile. That alone is the ultimate motivation to never slip again. And I've been having this conversation a few times on these videos of like, do I know that I'm never going to smoke again? Am I sure that I'm never going to smoke again? I don't know. But here's what I am sure of. That consistently being sober versus consistently being high is so much better, right? Being sober feels so much better. And maybe it's good that I experienced like the real throes of substance abuse that I get to have that knowledge, right? That sobriety is a phenomenal advantage. And I don't take it for granted at all anymore. Another little note that's top of mind is I talked a lot about boredom the first couple days, and like this experience of, you know, when you first kind of start kicking weed, you have these moments throughout the day where you're sitting there and you're like, man, I don't know what else to do other than smoke weed. Like I that's what I want to do because, you know, that's what I'm feeling drawn to do. I don't know how else to really put that. I don't feel that at all right now, right? I sure I get bored. But whenever I get bored, it's like the first thing that kind of comes to my mind is like, man, I'm so grateful that I am not being drawn to go, you know, achieve some cheap dopamine, right? I'm enjoying existing in my mind the way that I am right now. And I'm so glad that I don't feel drawn to do things like that. So like I said, I mean, that real sense of high energy, that real sense of like, you know, your emotional positives being way high, that's kind of gone. I'm not really feeling that so much. The real deep sort of depression and sadness is gone too. I'm not really feeling that much at all anymore. The dreams are not necessarily letting up in terms of intensity, but I'm grateful that I'm having them. I'm learning a lot from them. Like I said, I'll make a video about dreams and kind of dream interpretation if that's something that anybody's interested in. So definitely drop a comment if that's something you want to see. But you know, I'm glad that I'm still experiencing that. But the bottom line is that the throes of the highs and lows are not really there anymore. I talked a lot about the feeling of confidence in my first video. About like, you know, I don't have that real confidence in any of my intellectual skills. That's gone. I am feeling like, you know, I'm super excited to have conversations. I'm super excited to kind of clash my mind against other people's minds. I've kind of fallen out of doing political stuff so much recently. It's funny. Today I actually got an indication that I was banned from TikTok, which is like my millionth social media account that I got banned from, and I find it really hard not to talk shit to white supremacists, so I'm not tripping about it. But I was like, you know, this is just kind of an indication that maybe bullshitting around with political nonsense is not where I should be, and I should really be focusing on my business. I should really be focusing on documenting my self-development journey here on YouTube. And you know, it didn't really hurt my feelings because I knew like this is something that's a bit of a time suck for me anyway. My point was that the majority of where I'm feeling that energetic confidence is in my business. I'm having a lot of conversations. I've been connecting with a lot of people on LinkedIn and really kind of trying to express interest in what they're doing, right? Try to get them on the phone and just learn as much as I can about what's working for them and what's not. That's been going phenomenally. I've been, you know, having conversations with people that are way further along than I am. I mean, people doing hundreds of thousands of dollars in revenue every month, which is ultimately sort of what my goals are, right? And so there is a degree of nervousness that comes with that, but at the same time, it is deeply validating to be able to challenge myself in spaces like that, right? To subject myself to the minds, to the intentions, to the successes of people that are where I want to be in the arenas that I want to be successful in. And so that has been deeply fulfilling, and that has kind of given me back that sense that, you know, I do know what I'm doing, right? I am capable of, you know, adding value at very least in terms of something that would be worth somebody spending 20, 30 minutes, an hour, 2 hours on the phone with me, right? And so that's been phenomenal. And so a lot of that confidence, that kind of just low-key general confidence. Oh, got to pick some trash up here. You already know, not good at just letting trash exist in nature. So that's been great. That's felt really good. But yeah, so a lot of the highs and lows are kind of going back to this like gentle hum of normalcy. I'm trying to think of other things to talk about. There really isn't too much ugly. The highs of depression and the highs of feeling really reactionary, those are kind of gone too. There were some, in the first couple weeks, there were some spats that I had with my partner where like I wasn't being very considerate of her, and I was just kind of, my emotions were just kind of washing over me. That's pretty much totally gone. But what I'm realizing is that at the same time, I'm sure a lot of you can relate to this, where it's like you do a lot of unconscious things throughout the day if you're not high all the time, or maybe if you are high all the time. And then I'm just going to chuck this. Luckily, there's trash cans like right next to the river, which is phenomenal. A1 for public services, baby. But yeah, so where was I going with this? It's like the reaction, feeling triggered by things. Okay, I know where I was going with this. So it's like you'll often find that when you smoke all the time, you'll do things unconsciously, but then you smoke and your conscious awareness floods back to you, right? And so all of a sudden you're like, oh man, I made this mistake. Or at least that's what I would do, is like, I said this to somebody, or I know that I made somebody feel this way, and then I get high and all of a sudden that awareness comes to me, and then I proceed to do whatever. Maybe it's just revel in the regret, or it's like reach out to the person and say, hey, I'm really sorry. In the first couple days, weeks of being sober, I found that I was succumbing quite a bit to like that reactionary emotion. Now I'm not finding that really at all. I'm finding that I am able to practice present awareness all the time. I'm able to be much more mindful of the way that I interact with people and the things that I say to people. And so it's like all of the benefits are sort of coming back to the average normal state of my cognitive existence. And that's really fulfilling. That feels great. I'm really glad to be able to honestly say that. Hello, squirrel. So yeah, I mean, in terms of like ugly or bad, there really isn't too much. And that's been grand. I have felt like I've been having to kind of put myself in more challenges. And at first there was a lot of negative emotion behind that, to like really kind of come to terms with where I'm at in life materially, within my finances, within my personal fitness, within the trajectory of my career in general, shall we say. But a lot of that has kind of been replaced by this consistent behavior, right? The actual discipline, but not just the discipline, the desire to take on the challenges. And I'm so grateful for that. I honestly have not felt that sense of a real desire to take my challenges on and get better, like a hunger for growth, in a long time. I'm talking years. And I get these comments on my channel all the time of like, oh, well, this is just how you feel in general, or this is that. The thing is, yourself, right? I know myself. I know that when it comes to what I actually want, I want to be hungry for growth. I want to be hungry for success. And when I use a behavior, predominantly like smoking weed for me, right, to avoid that feeling, to numb myself out and say like, oh, this is sort of my artificial meditation. That's not actually what it is, right? It's me hiding from the fear that I just don't know how to actually manage that feeling of hunger. But that feeling of hunger is part of who I naturally am, right? That's what I actually want for myself. And so I'm leaning into that now, and it feels really, really good. So just a couple of thoughts. I'm gonna make a transition. Watch this. Ready? All right. So that's pretty much the extent of what I'm feeling after a month, 30 days, as of today. The bottom line is really just the difference between existing constantly feeling like I'm living, I'd call it hell, right? And now feeling weightless for the most part. And I only know the difference because I was constantly high all the time. And so it feels 50% better. It might even feel like a larger percentage, but I would say 50% in general, going from a place where I feel weighed down you know, feeling low confidence, like I'm constantly looking for reasons not to do the things that I know really move me forward, to a place where I am gravitating towards doing those things and I don't feel physically, mentally fatigued and weighed down all the time. So that's the bottom line. If you want more details, check out my other videos. I really appreciate all of you being with me along for the ride, and that's it. Peace, love, namaste. Take it easy.